So I just had like a really big breakfast and now I have to film this video. Oh. Anyway, it is a fun video. It's a tag video and you might be able to guess what's coming. It's the not safe for work tag. This was created by Katie of Chapter Stacks and Luke of Luke Lane Reads. I was tagged by Katie. There are 10 questions, so it's of reasonable length. And it's basically books that maybe are a little bit raunchier, a little bit scarier, stuff that you wouldn't want to talk about in the workplace. So yeah, let's get started. The first question is, what is the last book you would want your parents to walk in on you reading? Now, normally, I'm not shy about what I read, but my mom does have a tendency to ask me what the book's about. So I feel like if I had to explain the plot of The Merciless to her, she'd probably give me a really weird look and walk out of the room, because trying to explain this book to somebody who has not read it would probably be kind of terrifying, just because it is about these girls who basically perform an exorcism on another girl, and there's a lot of scary stuff that goes down. Also, the cover alone with this thing going on, I feel like that might freak some people out. So this is something that I wouldn't bring to the workplace and definitely wouldn't feel like explaining to my mom. Second question. It's storming outside and you're home alone for the night. What book would only make matters worse? That would have to be In the Woods by Tana French. I do love this book, but damn is it creepy, especially at the beginning when a lot of stuff goes down that sort of sets up the tone for the rest of the book. I feel like it would be one of those books where you just kind of pause for a moment and you like think you hear something in your house, and it's really all in your head just because you've been reading this and you've been freaking out about it. But yeah, I would shy away from this one if I was home alone and it was storming outside. Question 3. Have you ever read a book simply because of the controversy surrounding it? It was kind of hard for me to think of one that I thought fit this perfectly, but there was, I often pick up books because I hear about them, and this one was pretty controversial. Not so much before I started reading it, but especially once the general population, really figured out what was going on in these books. This is the first book, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. It's by Stieg Larsson. These books are really well written. They're fantastic reads, but there's a lot of graphic scenes in them that I feel like mothers would not appreciate. There was a lot of buzz around these books, debatably controversy, but I feel like there was probably a number of people that were offended by what they found in here. I know a lot of people who read these books and were sort of like, yeah, I'm never gonna read them again. Number 4, what is the most cringe-inducing romance or sex scene you have ever read? Now, I'm not someone who reads romance. I've read one romance book in my life, and that's gonna come up later. I have never read an erotica book. That's not something that interests me, but in terms of sex scenes in books, they do occasionally pop up, but the ones that really just made me uncomfortable, that would have to be every single book in the Song of Ice and Fire series that I have read. Here we go, okay. Yeah, so all of these books, there is potential for a graphic sex scene or just something really, like, ew, I don't need to hear about the details of that. But yeah, it happens in these ones, so I figured this entire series as a whole could fit in for the answer to this question. Question number 5. What book has made you question the author's sanity? That book would have to be Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. This was the first book I read by her. It is also the first book that was ever published by her, and damn is it twisted, because there is just a lot of weird stuff going on in here. You think it's going one way, and then some weird stuff happens. The ending was really what pushed me over the edge in terms of being able to handle what was going on. And the fact that she wrote this, and she wrote Dark Places, and she wrote Gone Girl, all of which are very twisted, psychological. Gillian Flynn has a twisted mind. It's fantastic, but it's really, really twisted. Question number 6. Have you ever put down a book and not finished it because the content was too much for you? No, but there was a book that I read that took me forever to get through because A, the writing style was a little weird, and B, the content of it was very strange, and that is A Clockwork Orange by Anthony Burgess. I listened to this as an audiobook actually, but it just took me forever to get into it because of the way they talk, and also some of the scenes were just ooh. And I know this is supposed to be about books, but I did watch the movie after reading the book or listening to the book, and that was just, I couldn't finish. Like, the movie took me forever to get through as well because it was just so and just uncomfortable, and yeah, there was a lot of scenes that just no. Number 7, what fictional character do you have the most not safe for work thoughts about? The one that immediately jumps to mind, just because I'm in the middle of rereading the book, is Kartik from The Sweet Far Thing, or really the Gemma Doyle trilogy as a whole. This is the one I'm rereading. He's written in like a perfect way where he's just a little mysterious, but the scenes with him and Gemma are really good. Like, I'm really behind it, and so it makes me like him more, and just, yeah, Kartik. I'm digging it. Number 8, show us your most not safe for work cover or drawing inside of a book. I was actually kind of surprised, but I don't have anything that's like super graphic, mostly probably because I don't really read erotica or romance, but what I did find was Charlaine Harris's Dead Until Dark. This is the first novel in what we know as True Blood from HBO. This isn't too bad, but it's definitely something I would probably kind of like, if I was at work, I would just like read it against the table rather than hold it up, just so people wouldn't see the tongue thing going on. But yeah, not too bad, but still a little not safe for work. Question number 9, have you ever read anything from the erotica romance genre, and what did you think? No to erotica, as I mentioned before, but I have read that one romance book, and it always comes up whenever the romance questions are asked, since I've never really delved into another one. I read Irish Hearts by Nora Roberts, just so I could get a taste for the romance genre, and I could officially say, no, I don't like it, rather than just judging, having not actually read any of the books in that category. This was kind of what you'd expect. A woman, you know, goes away to, and there's like Irish heart, and there's horses, and there's falling in love, and it was just nah. The beginning was good because I was getting to know her character, and it wasn't all about the boys or the dudes or whatever. It was about her. But then once the love interests and stuff, once that was all introduced, it just went way downhill and it stopped being interesting. So yeah, I've never gone back to romance because of it. The last question, question number 10, you stumbled across a portkey. What fictional world would you not want to be transported to? There was a lot of obvious answers with this in terms of dystopian YA novels, which I have read a fair amount of. I decided to go for something a little different that maybe wouldn't pop up in all of the videos, but that is The Road by Cormac McCarthy. This is a post-apocalyptic America, but it is so bleak. This is written in such a depressing way that it just makes it that much worse. It's not like another world where you have somebody who's willing to save it and make it better and, you know, overthrow the government and whatnot. This is post-apocalyptic, so it's just really crappy. In terms of tagging, I've frankly given up with tagging other people for tags because I never keep track of who has already done it or who has been tagged. So yeah, if you want to do this tag, go ahead and do it. Feel free to link it down below, and obviously let Katie and Luke know if you've done it, because I'm sure they'd be really happy to know that more people are doing their tag. If you don't make videos or you don't want to make a video but you want to answer one or two of the questions in here, feel free to answer those down below in the comments. I definitely like to see what you guys have in terms of like creepy romance, erotica stuff. It's always interesting to see what people have. All of the links are in the doobly-doo. Feel free to check those out. And thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you later.